Yep. So we can start now. Welcome to the Gurgaon Salesforce Developer Group. Today we are going to talk about development with SFDX. Thank you for joining, everyone. My name is Mika Saw. I am a technical consultant at Salesforce. I am 14x certified and triple star ranger, and I am also a multi-cloud specialist. Saying that I got the opportunity to work on sales, service, experience cloud, as well as manufacturing cloud, automotive cloud, and you can follow me on LinkedIn and Twitter. Here are my handles. We have Vishal with us, who is exec Salesforce certified and a group leader for Gurgaon Salesforce developer community. And here are the handles for him to follow. And we also have Himanshu Pandey with us. Himanshu, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you, Mega. My name is Imanshu. I'm a tech lead at Accenture. I'm 5 times Salesforce certified, and I'm also a full stack developer and a multi cloud enthusiast. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. This is my handle, so feel free to reach me out. Yeah, over to you, Mega.
Thank you, Himanshu. So we have today's speaker with us, Gaurav Yadav, who is a lead IT software engineer at Ciena, and will be having his session followed by Kahoot. So there are few handles that you can follow on LinkedIn, and we also have a YouTube channel, so you can subscribe to us. And over to you, Gaurav.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Mega. Let me share my screen. Okay, all right. I hope everyone is seeing my screen.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, so as Mega stated, today's session is about development using SFDX. This is going to be a hands-on session, and it is not just with the development with the SFDX. The main agenda of this session is like how a senior developer, uh, maybe you are in the journey of your senior development, how a senior developers or a developers who work on the full stack, how they can develop so fast, quickly, effectively. So it is going to be an eye-opener session. You have using SFDX commands, Salesforce CLI, in a bit. Little bit of your work will be done with the Salesforce CLI and everything, but most of us don't utilize its full potential. So today I'm going to show you guys how you can utilize the full potential of the SFDX commands and how it will be beneficial for you for your day-to-day development and how you can become more productive. And trust me, it will look cool as well when you will start using it, and people will ask you, "Oh, hey man, how you are doing this?" So yeah, it will be like that. So those who are attending very first time my session, my name is Gaurav Yadav. I do have 10 years of experience and I am currently working as a lead software engineer, and I am a Salesforce enterprise architect for the Ciena. Those who don't know Ciena, Ciena is a telecommunication provider. We are the telecommunication equipment manufacturer. We deal with the subsea cable routing and switching equipments. And I'm also a Salesforce Slack chapter leader for the Dehradun community, and I'm on the Slack leaderboard. I'm at the third position. And I do also share some of my insights on my YouTube channel, which is Discover Salesforce with Gaurav Yadav. If you guys want, you can follow me on Twitter, LinkedIn, and if you want to learn good things, you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. So I'm going to post the link for both the things in the chat. Session rules, again, those who are attending, who have already attended my previous sessions, I do believe in brainstormings and discussion. It should not be like that I am speaking. I believe in a lot of discussions and brainstorming. So whenever you feel like you do have a question, uh, just type your question, unmute, feel free to unmute yourself and ask the question immediately. If you are shy not to speak, just type a single word Q in the chat and just hit enter. I will stop at that moment and just type your question over there, so that it will, because writing a question may take you time, so that I'll not going with the flow. Okay. So today's target audience is Salesforce developers, administrators, and architects. This session will be useful for all three kind of audiences. I hope we do have a mix of audience from these three groups. Those who have not attended, so this is the second session of the series of development with the VS Code. Those who have not attended the previous session or who have attended it, just a little bit recap. Before previously, we do have discussed about before VS Code. What are the struggles that we do have with developer console? And why VS Code for the Salesforce development, we have also discussed about it, introduction for Salesforce DX and setting up of the environment. Developer console struggles, let me tell you a little very brief struggles of that. You cannot collaborate with your fellow developers, fellow colleagues in the developer console. There is high chances of overriding your code always, and some of the productivity things cannot be done over there, like quick formatting, and you always have to dependent on the browser. Sometimes browser may crash, and developer control sometimes take a lot of time to load. So if still you are using developer console or you have used developer console, you know the pain point. So I'm not going to spend much time on it. So last one was setting up of the environment. For setting up of the environment, there are the software requirements. If you have still not installed the VS Code, I will encourage you guys to download and install the Visual Studio Code from this website, code.visualstudiocode.com. Afterwards, you can install the Salesforce TXCLI with the instructions on that developer.salesforce.com, and then install the Salesforce extension pack for VS Code directly into the VS Code. So these are the software requirements. As usual, very small agenda. We will directly jump into the actions. We will create our first Apex class using the VS Code. We will try to pull and push the codes between your local and the remote org, and we will do some debugging and logging. And we will directly run the Apex class directly from the VS Code, and we will do the testing, how we can view all the test results directly into the VS Code. The main agenda is we will not try to log in into the Salesforce org at all. Definitely, I'm going to log in a bit just to show you guys what exactly I am doing over there. But the main agenda is when you start working, fully utilizing your VS Code, you no need to log in into the Salesforce org at all completely. So without a further ado, let's directly jump into the demo. So I do have opened my VS Code. Okay, let me change its color theme so that it will appear a little bit white and you guys can able to see it. From where to change, from where to change. Appearance. Okay, I'm not getting at this moment, but yeah, let me know if you guys struggle to see it. So I'll zoom in and zoom out as well, try to zoom in and zoom out. Okay, so we will try to first create the Apex class. And if you are very first time coming into the VS Code, so first of all, you do need to authorize your org, and that authorization of the org will give you a alias. It's the bottom side, you will able to see the alias of your org. Here is the alias of my org, which is Gaurav_dev. In the previous sessions, we do have authorized this org. Now let's try to create the as and all of those things. Before going over there, I want to just show you, I will be creating a Apex class example2 and on this org, just I want to show you guys that this class doesn't exist over here. So everything I'm going to do is completely from the VS Code. So for creating of the Apex class, I'm going to open the command palette. How to open the command palette? Command Shift T if you are using Mac, or Control Shift T if you are using Windows. Type SFDX, create Apex class, and here you can give a desired name. Example2 I am giving. You can choose the path, and it will take a while. It will automatically create the Apex class for you. Let me zoom in. So this created the Apex class. Now let's start filling out with the information. I am removing few things, and just let's create a method, public static void execute method I'm creating. I'm not giving anything. It is just a simple debug statement on this system.debug. This is execute, and just save it. Okay, so we have created the Apex class. Now the next step is how this Apex class will be deployed to your org. As I stated, you must have been authorized to your org. So how to deploy so here you will see a terminal window on the bottom of the VS Code. Just drag it up and it will open a terminal window for you automatically. Right click on the Apex class. You can just copy the relative path of it. Now I am start using the commands over here. So how to deploy it? There is a command SFDX force source deploy -p. -p means path of the Apex class that you are deploying it. Just paste the relative path, hit enter. It will take a while. Of course, it is giving me warning. Yesterday there was a new release. That's why. And it is deploying and done. We have deployed our first Apex class, created our first Apex class and deployed it. Let's go to our org and let's check whether it has our Apex class or not. This example 2 is the Apex class that we have created just now. You see 11:19 a.m. And even if I go to the deployment status, if you do have a large deployment as well, you can come to the deployment status and start seeing over here. But you see here is the deployment that is being successful. That's how I came to know that my Apex class is being deployed. And in fact, you no need to switch to your browser every time to check whether your Apex class is being deployed or not. It is over here. Now the second step is, first step is creation, deploy. Now you want to run this Apex class. Generally what we used to do, we used to go to our developer console, execute the Apex class in the anonymous window. If I can say, I can execute this Apex class from the anonymous window from my VS Code itself. So let's see. Maybe there are two ways of it. I'm going to show you both ways. Just hit Control and will open up a new window for you. Okay, and you can just just instantiate your Apex class. We are using like a static method, so no need to do it. I can directly call it example2.execute. Just write it, select this, again open the command palette, window shift P, command shift P, and SFDX. So this is one of the method. Execute anonymous Apex with the currently selected text. Okay, I just hit enter over here, and this is exactly similar to executing in the anonymous window. So in the bottom right hand side, you will see it is executing and execution is successful, and I am seeing the logs over here. So this is the one way of executing your Apex class or testing your certain things. Let's say you are building something, you want to test your little scripts. So that's a one method. Now the second method is, I don't want to use the command palette. I completely want to be on the CLI. So there is a command called sf apex run. Hit enter. Now what it will do, you can start writing your anonymous code over here. Example2 dot execute. Okay, I am closing it. Hit enter. After that, it is giving the instruction. Press enter after the each line and Control D when you have finished. Control D, I am finished writing it. Boom. it executed, compiled, executed, and I am seeing a debug log over here as well. Okay, so this is the second way of deploying things or running from the execute environment. So I didn't open up my developer console at all, or didn't log into my org. Now some of you may say that I want to check the logs, what is exactly happening. So this is the logs coming up, but still you want to check the logs. What is the usual practice you do? You log into the Salesforce, go to the setup, go to the debug log, set the debug logs for maybe a Apex class, for a user, or for a time frame. No need to log in. I am going to currently set up a debug log directly from the VS Code and stream the live debug log from here. So how to do it? Open one more terminal. How to open one more terminal? There is a plus sign over here. Okay, right hand side middle, there is a plus sign. I am clicking on this plus sign and it opened a new terminal window for me. But what I'm going to do this, I'm moving this terminal to my editor. I just right click on it, move terminal to the editor area. So I have moved on the top so that I can able to see the logs exactly what is happening in this. How to see the logs in this? There is a command called sf apex tail log. I just hit enter. Let it do its processing behind the scene. Wait for a few minutes. Two ways I can execute my Apex class directly from the command palette. I am selecting it. Execute with the currently selected text. And you see all the logs are coming over here. I didn't logged in into the Salesforce, set up my debug log, anything. I didn't do anything at all. Okay. Now this is not looking very, it is all black and white. Let's add some colors on this one. So let me clear out my console. Okay. Okay, let me clear out my console. Running the same command, sf apex tail log. Now I'm going to add some colors so that method entry, method exit, everything will be nicely curated and nicely visualized over here. Again, same thing, executing with the command palette, execute with the currently selected text. It executed, you see, with a nice color. I am seeing a user info over here, method entry, method exit, debug, everything I am looking over here. If there is an exception comes up, that will come into the red. I will try to introduce an exception, and let's check the logs of one. So let's enter the exception in this one. So let's say let's query account ACC select ID from account where name equal to Gaurav Yadav and limit 1. If you know what kind of exception it will give list has no row for assignment, because we are doing multiple operations over here. If the account with the name Gaurav Yadav doesn't exist, if it is being assigned to a list, then it will give an empty list. But here I'm directly assigning to a variable, so it will list has no row for assignment. Okay. Screen is stuck. Arti, I'm zooming in, zooming out. I'm typing. Still, you are facing that problem. Anyone else facing this problem?
We can see it fine, Gaurav.
Okay.
Arti, can you rejoin? Yeah.
Yes,
You can
Arti. Maybe
refresh.
there is some bandwidth problem for you. Thanks. Okay, now I do have changes. Control S, I have updated it. What I have to do, I have to deploy this change into my org. How to deploy it? SFDX force colon source colon deploy -p your relative path of the Apex class that you want to deploy. And in fact, you can separate multiple Apex class names as well over here. So let me zoom in what command I am running. Okay, hitting enter. So it will start deploying. It is deploying. So my changes is being deployed. So I do have introduced a bug over there, exception over there. Now let's do one thing. Let's clear all our logs. Again, sf apex tail log -- color to add some colors for our execution. Just wait for a few seconds so that it will set up the logs. Things will come up nicely. So again, two ways of doing it. One is sf apex run, hit enter. Okay, and the example2 dot execute semicolon, hit enter, control, okay, by mistake I press something else, but yeah, one more thing I do have forgot. Okay, it executed. You see, fault error. It comes in red. That list has no row for assignment to the S object. So what I am doing, I am developing, doing debugging side by side, very productive. I am not switching the context. I'm not going to the browser or doing these things. Now someone will say that Gaurav, I want to save the logs as well. How could be done? So yes, it is pretty much possible that you want to execute something, save the debug logs, and maybe transfer it to some of your fellow developers. How to do it? So let me clear out my screen. Exactly same command. Now here I am going to introduce a little bit flavor of scripting, bash scripting. If any one of you know the bash scripting, it's very good. You may guess what I'm trying to do over here. But if you don't know, no need to worry that I do need to learn the bash scripting. Just a little bit, few commands, few syntaxes will help over here. So what I'm going to do, previously my output was visible on my terminal. Now I want to save my output into the apex.log file. And let's check whether we do have any apex log file in our system. No, we don't have any apex log file as of now. Okay, so I'm just hitting enter. Let it get some time. Again, any which way you can execute it from the command palette, as well as from the directly from the CLI. I'm executing from the command palette this one. Okay, it executed. Now this time you will not be able to see the logs. Why? Because my logs are saved over in the Apex file. You see, all the logs are over here. And in fact, we were having somewhere in this list has no row assignments. You see, this one SQL operation was being performed, and let's search for what I pressed by mistake. Let's search for error. Yeah, here it is, fault error system.query.exception. So you can pass out this file to your colleagues so that they can check the logs, and maybe you can feed this log file elsewhere. So I'm stopping here my log tailing. I'm taking a pause over here. Any doubts so far? Going once, going twice, going thrice. Okay, silence is golden. No doubts. Okay, now you will see in the developer console, when I check the logs, I can check that, see only my debug logs, and that way it will be more productive. I no need to read this big log file. how I can do that. So because as a developer, we are mainly interested in that one. So let me comment out. Okay, let it be here. So again, introducing a little bit flavor of scripting. Same command, sfdx tail log -- color. Now this is a pipe command, pipe symbol, grep. Which keyword you want to grep? We have created our apex log, and if I search for this debug log, this is execute. So this is execute coming with the keyword user_debug. So what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to grab, sorry, my bad. I am going to grab user_debug. So not just only this one, this is execute. It will grab everything for me, whatever you have written in the debug log. Let me check. User_debug is the right. Hit enter. Let's wait for a few minutes. It can set up the logs behind the scene. Okay. Now execute anonymous. It executed, but I was interested in only my debug log. And do it is going to give, not give, not giving. I have given the correct statement. Let me check. Or maybe it is because it is user_. Yeah, user_debug is here. Okay, maybe I forgot to put the inverted comma. Okay, this keyword we want to grab, inverted commas. Let it wait for some time. Let's execute. Not coming. It is saying that I will not work today. Maybe I'll try to execute one more time and maybe deploy it again. Yeah. Oh, here it comes. So sometimes it's a little bit lag. You have to give a few seconds or few minutes now. But you see, I am not going into the developer console or into the Salesforce or at all. I open my browser time just to show you guys that whatever I'm going to show you, it is not written anywhere. That isn't present. So now you will say, Gaurav, I want to see my exception as well. This user.debug is fine, but it may mislead me that because my class is having a little bit exception over here. So another flavor I'm going to add over here. Let me clear out my console. Another flavor I'm going to add of the scripting over here. Few flags I'm going to use. I'm using single inverted comma hyphen capital E hyphen capital E, and then in the single quotes you can give as many as keywords you want. I want to give user debug or error or ex or exception. Okay, just hit enter. Wait for a few seconds so that it will behind the scene. It will set up your debug logs and your things will start working over here. Now execute it again. This time I am expecting my debug as well as my exception as well. You see, this.execute system.query.exception list has no row for assignment for the subject. This.execute, so it is showing error as well. Power over here, how you can do the quick development without switching the context. So you will say, okay, one of my colleagues is also working on the same Apex class, and I want to take its extract from it. So there are multiple ways of doing it. So first, let's jump into the browser, our old friend, developer console. Okay. Let's open up our Apex class that we have built, example 2, and consider a hypothetical situation. Your colleague also worked on this Apex class, and you want to patch his changes. So you are facing the difficulty. Hey, Gaurav, can you help me out? I'm getting this exception. Okay, I told, okay, no worries. Just comment out this code and try to run it. I do have saved it. Hit it save. So it's saved. Now I'm closing my developer console. Again, jumping into my VS Code. Now I want to take that extract. So there are multiple ways. Majority of the people go to org browser, refresh it, search for the Apex class, take the extract. That's a long path, frankly speaking. So over here, what you can do, again, same thing. You can copy the relative path. Okay. Let it open. SFDX force source retrieve hyphen p and give your Apex class name. And in fact, you can give the multiple Apex class name as well, comma separated. Hit enter. Or multiple metadata. That's what I wanted to say. It will take a little bit time. It is retrieving. It is waiting for the org to respond. And here we go. We have retrieved our changes. My colleague done this changes directly into the org, or maybe he has done these changes in his VS Code and deployed to the org. Now I took the changes into my local. So that's how you can retrieve it. Any questions? Okay, I feel no. Okay, now the next step is I do have created the Apex class. Now I do need to create the test class. Gaurav, for sure, I have created the test class for running the test class for checking the code coverage. I do need to log into my Salesforce org. I can say no, guys, still not. So let's create a Apex test class. Command Shift P, Control Shift P, SFDX, create Apex class. Give the desired file name equal to dot test. Select the path it created for you. Just a revision for you. Apex test class will be called a test class with the annotation @ is test. Okay. A method called as test method when we have started with annotation @ is public static void test execute. Okay, so just save it. And what I'm going to do is I am just simply calling my method example2, this one, example2.execute in my test. Okay, save it and copy the relative path. SFDX source deploy -p. And some of you may say, okay, I can execute the test class. I have a plugin that will give me here, run the test methods or run the test classes. Yes, you can do that way as well. But I'm going to show you, I'm showing this way. If there I can ask, let's say you want to execute the multiple Apex test classes, how you are going to do. You may have to, I can say, create a test suite and then run it. Visible to take a latest pull during the runtime. Yes, you can change certain settings. I don't have on top of my mind, but yes, on every run, it will take the pull and then do it. And you can play around with the bash scripting as well. So first take the pull and then execute it. So that's the power of the bash scripting. So you can do anything. So I do have deployed this test class as well. Let's clear out. Let's go to the org and check. My test class should be present over here. Apex test classes. I'm going to example 2.test. Yes, example 2.test, it is here. Should we add more? No, I think this is fine. System.starter, no need for this one. So now let's start executing your test class the scripting way or CLI way. So we do have a command sf apex run test --hyphen class names. You can give your class names over here. My class name is example2.test. So one way is you can just directly hit enter over here. But I want to do it synchronously because once you hit enter over here, it will execute your test classes in a asynchronous way, but I want to do it synchronously. So I'm going to put a keyword synchronous over here and hit enter. You see, it executed one test method, pass rate is 100%, and it executed. So this is runtime is this month. Okay. Now you will say, okay, I am testing few things, but along with that, I want to see the debug logs as well when I'm doing the when I'm running the test class. My test class is failing, but I want to check the debug log. Again, same thing, sf apex tail log color grep. I want to grep user debug error exception. Hit enter, give it some time so that it can set up everything for you very nicely. And bottom, I am going to run that test class, complete test class. Okay, it executed and it gives me a debug as well. So that way, you are building your test class, your test method is being failing, you have put your debug logs into your Apex class, and you are checking at that moment itself from the without leaving your VS Code. I am on the single screen. Okay, I am just so get out from that tail log. Just otherwise it will be infinite over there. You can just press Control C to terminate this. Okay, so just a little thing that I forgot to mention. Someone will say, okay, I want to run but a specific test method. My test class is having hundreds of test methods, but I want to run a specific test method. Yes, it is possible. Again, same command sf apex run test. Okay. How have to give one flag hyphen test, and in the hyphen test, what you have to do, you have to write your test method, which is example 2.test dot, what is the test method here, test underscore execute, and hit enter. So it will execute only one test method for you. So same way, you can give a comma separated multiple class name, comma separated multiple test name. So that utility will be useful, that plugin. Okay, I forgot to give asynchronous. Okay, so if you didn't give the synchronous, how to extract the test result, you can just run this command. and it will give you the test result. Because if you don't give the synchronous, it do the asynchronous way. So it is the error that test execute doesn't exist. Let's see, because I given test underscore execute. Okay, now I can change it, make it synchronous. Here it is. This test method is being passed. And okay, I do have cleared out previous results, but in the must have seen that it is giving just a test class name. So some of you might, so what I was saying was that if you want to execute multiple test classes that with the help of that Apex plugin, you have to create the test route, but here you can just give a comma separated thing. So now you will say, okay, Gaurav, I have executed it, I have debugged it, I have deployed it to my org. Now, but before that, I do need to check the test code coverage. That is a very, very valid scenario. So how to do a test coverage? So let's execute our class names, complete class, and just give hyphen hyphen code hyphen coverage. Okay, so it will also give you the code coverage as well. I'm not switched at all to my browser or anything. I'm few direct from the VS Code. So here is a code coverage. And what was our test class name? Example 200%. Perfect. We are ready to deploy to production. Okay. Now you will see, okay, Gaurav, you have, I do have used a query in my Apex class. For execution of the query, I do need to go to the browser. So you must be thinking about that one. Again, guys, no need to go to the browser for executing the query as well. We do have a command for executing the query with the help of the command palette as well as the CLI. So first a command palette way, select this complete query. Okay. Command Shift P, open the command palette, SFDX, start typing query, execute sockle query with the currently selected text. REST API, you can do a query for REST and tooling both. You will be surprised to know that. So it is going to your org, it is connecting, and it will give, now it is querying the data. Number of records retrieved 0 because we were knowing it. Now let's retrieve everything. What will happen? Command Shift P, command palette, execute sockle query with the currently selected test, REST API. Querying data, okay, it give me the complete data, whatever was expected. Number of rows retrieved, 617. Again, CLI way, SF data query hyphen hyphen query, your inverted commas, select ID from account, hit enter. And it will query the data, all the data. And you can manipulate the formats as well. If you want data in the JSON for anything, you can manipulate whatever way you want to do it. Okay. Still, some of you may have not satisfied. Okay, Gaurav, I do still want to go to the org to see some of the things. I'm not satisfied that whatever I am doing is correctly. So how you will go to the org? You first search for the browser, open the browser, type test.salesforce.com, login.salesforce.com, type in your login credentials, going over there, Okay, with just one click, let's open your Salesforce org from the VS Code. So again, there are multiple ways doing it. One easiest way is bottom left hand side. If you see, there is a button over here, org, open org. Just click on this one. If I clicked, yes, I clicked, and it will open your org directly. You see, it opened my org, and it will not ask me for the credential. Right now, it is being opened in the Safari, and I do have already logged in into my Chrome. So that's the distinguish I want to do. So that's why I do have opened it in the Safari, and I didn't give any credentials, and it directly landed me up on the setup page. Whatever you want to do, you can do it from here. Okay, but we want to learn a CLI way of doing this. Let's close command sf org open, because CLI is always fast. Just sf org open, hit enter, and it will try to open the org again in the Safari. Actually, my system is running a little bit slow, otherwise you will not get that much time. Okay, again it open in my Safari browser. Now, okay, Gaurav, but I want to open it in the Chrome or some different browser. sf org open hyphen browser, and I want to open in a Chrome. It will open me on the Chrome directly. Again, what I'm saying is my system is running a little bit slow today, and it do have opened me on the next window. And let me open you for guys. So here is this one. Okay, you have logged into the org. Now, any questions? I'm again taking a pause. Okay, there are few Q&As coming up. Sorry guys, I didn't check the Q&A section. Okay, can we deploy Apex class directly to production from Sandbox org? So from Sandbox to production, if you want to deploy, or maybe your question is, can we deploy Apex class directly to production from my local? Yes, it is possible, but you have to give your Apex test class names. How we can, because deploying to the production is always running the test classes, doing a 75% coverage. So you have to give the test class name. So hyphen run test, your test class names, what need to be run. Second question from Bhavya. Can logs be generated instead of running the class from the CLI? I want the logs to be generated and I can perform the action on the record. Can I still get the logs directly in VS Code? Yes, you can turn on the logs into the VS Code. And let's say you are working on a UI, LWC component, you can click on over there and the logs will be generated in the backend from in the VS Code directly. Okay, I hope it answer your question, Bhavya, if she is still here. Okay, I'm going to the next one. What are the prerequisites for today's session? Again, prerequisites was, let me go to the slides. You should need, and apologies guys, my system is running a little bit slow. So prerequisites are download and install the VS Code, install your Salesforce CIs, install the Salesforce extension pack. Since this is my first session of the CLI to run, I'm unable to understand how I can link the org to the VS Code. Okay, I can show you very quickly, Arjun, for you. Command palette, Control Shift P, SFDX, colon, authorize and org. So just hit this command. You want to log into the production sandbox or any custom URL production, give a alias name over here, hit enter, and it will directly open a browser for you to authenticate. I hope this answer your question. Any more questions? Okay, let's go. Let's revise what we have learned today. We have created the Apex class directly into the VS Code. We have deployed that Apex class directly from the VS Code, running the Apex classes from the command palette as well as CLI. Then we check the log directly into the VS Code two ways, directly into the output terminal from the CLI commands. CLI commands gives you flexibility that you can color your output, you can save the file into the local, you can filter out based on certain keywords. And I am seeing one question: when we export or import the data from one org to another related to the records is CLI possible, you have to explore SFData commands, RK. It is very much possible. You just export the things into maybe JSON or in the CSV file from the one or SFData run query, and maybe in the in the CSV format or the JSON format, and you can run SFData command to directly export that data into your another org. Then we have discovered how to write the test classes, deploy the test classes, running the test classes directly from the VS Code, how to check the logs of running the test classes as well, and running only specific test method, then checking the code coverage. And we have seen query directly from the VS Code, from the command palette as well as from the CLI, and then we open our org, VS Code and the CLI. So any specific thing you want to cover, if you want to need a follow-up session, you can definitely contact Vishal, and Vishal will help you out. I can have a follow-up session as well. And in fact, you can connect me if you want to know in depth about each and every topic. You can subscribe me on the YouTube, and you can connect me on the LinkedIn as well if you want to know more. There is one more question coming up. Where can I get the video recorded link? Okay, maybe Vishal can answer out that one. So I'm stop sharing. I hope it will be useful for you guys.
Thank you, Gaurav, for this wonderful session. We can use this thing in our day-to-day life.
Please write your
So,
concerns, feedback, guys, into the chat. Yeah. If it was useful or not. Yeah. Thank you.
so now is the Kahoot time. Over to you, Himanshu.
Sure. Thank you, Mega. And thank you, Gaurav, and our audiences for your time. It was a great session. And as Mega mentioned, we got something new to learn today. So I'll share my screen now and we'll start off with Kahoot. Before we get started, there are a few things I wanted to tell. Please log in using your real name, no nicknames here. It would help us to like give the swags to the winners accordingly. So please use your real name, and let me know once my screen is visible. I'll get started. Is my screen visible?
Yes, Himanshu.
Sure. Thank you, Mega. So you guys can join this Kahoot. This is the QR code you guys need to scan. Do scan this, and I'm also dropping a link in the chat here, and you can use this ping flashing on your screen to join the Kahoot. We'll give some minutes to join for folks to join, and then we'll get started. I'll just drop the link in the chat as well. If you're having trouble scanning the QR code and joining, you can scan this as well. And as per our Kahoot game, only the first winner would be rewarded with a swag. So the instruction to the winner is like to send us your email ID in the DM so that we can take up the correspondence accordingly. We'll wait for a minute and then we'll start.
And also, if you guys have any question, please feel free to ping me on LinkedIn. I will help you out. If you didn't ask over here, or maybe when you are uh, practicing it in your day-to-day work, so please feel free to let me know.
Sure, guys, utilize this opportunity to interact and network amongst each other, and reach out to Gaurav if you have anything related to SFDX or anything related to this session or Salesforce in general. And you guys can also follow the Gurugram channel to get more to get info about more events like this. So, Vishal, can we start now?
So guys, if you are facing any issues while joining the Kahoot, please let us know. We can wait for 1 more minute only, and after that we will be going to start Kahoot.
Sounds good.
So please let us know if all of you have joined. So please let us know.